The Lucky Puppy by Gabby, Isabella, Lane, and Julia. In a little house, there lived the Hendersons and their dog, Penny. Penny was a good dog who always helped other people. Penny got along with all the other pets in the neighborhood. Penny always followed directions, and Penny always got treats for being good. Everything was fine, and everyone was happy. "Come, Penny, it's dinner time," said Mrs. Henderson one day in a happy voice as she put down 2 dog bowls. One of them had water, and the other one had dog food. Penny ran into the dining room. Next to her mom's chair there were 2 food bowls. She sniffed each bowl and barked with happiness. Then Mr. and Mrs. Henderson walked into the dining room, and they looked very upset. "Enjoy your meal, Penny," said Mr. Henderson. "I'm sorry." Penny thought to herself, what is he sorry about? Then the Hendersons both sat down and enjoyed their meal. After dinner, Penny, along with her owners, went into the study. Mr. and Mrs. Henderson sat down in the 2 big armchairs inside. Penny curled up on her dog bed, and Mr. Henderson read a book, and Mrs. Henderson called for Penny, and she pet her. After an hour, Penny and her owners went to bed. 3 days later, the pound came and picked up Penny. Mr. and Mrs. Henderson were crying, and Penny was whimpering as they took her away. They put her in a cage, and she paced and whimpered. They took her back to their headquarters, but after driving for about an hour, they took her out on a walk. Penny knew this was her chance to get away. So when she went out on her walks, when the pound worker was not looking and talking on her cell phone, Penny sprinted in the opposite direction. The leash flew from the worker's hand and she fell. She called the dog catcher and he came immediately, the headquarters being only 2 blocks away. The pound officer drove away to the nearest doctor because he had hurt her leg badly and was in pain. The dog catcher came and ran after Penny. Penny kept on running as the dog catcher followed her. She got closer to the corner of the street and stopped running. Penny was out of breath and turned around and saw that the dog catcher was coming closer. Cars and motorcycles did not stop, and Penny was getting scared. The dog catcher was getting closer, and there was no way of crossing the street. Penny began to pace on the sidewalk. She could not turn left because the dog pound was only 5 stores down. Then out of luck, the opportunity came. She turned and faced the dog catcher's direction and jumped up and onto a fire escape. She climbed up the ladder and onto the platform and went on like that for some time. Then she reached the flat roof of the building and ran. All the buildings were connected until the field at the end of the street. The dog catcher was still on the fire escape. This was Penny's chance. She came to the last building when the dog catcher reached the roof. She came to the last building's fire escape and climbed down. When she reached the sidewalk, she looked both ways and ran across the street. Penny ran across the street and into a field at the end of town. Once halfway through the field, she dug a hole and buried her leash so the dog catchers could not track her down and find her. She then continued on her way through the field. Penny was still running until she came to a pretty flower garden when she saw the 4-leaf clover and ate it because she thought it was food. After she ate, she searched until she found soft grass and then she slept in it. When she got up, she looked for something to eat. Penny found some acorns and berries and ate them. After eating, Penny went deeper into the garden and saw a family. Penny started to run, but a little girl saw her and said look to her parents and brother, and they saw her too. So they asked her to come, and since Penny was a good dog, she came and the family fed her some sandwiches, so Penny stayed with them. She couldn't go back with the Hendersons at her old home, but she found a better one with her new family, the Robinsons. Before going to Penny's new home, they brought her to a pet supply store for food, toys, and a leash. They also got her a new collar with her name and home address on it, and then they went home. The Robinsons, her new family, had a huge front and backyard that was fenced in so Penny could run around and play. Also, every once in a while, they would even take her to see the Hendersons. Penny loved her new home, and everything was fine and everyone was happy. The end. After Penny dinner.
Oh my god. Penny exactly. It felt like
I know. Okay. 3 days later, the pound came and picked up Penny. Mr. and Mrs. Henderson were crying and Penny was whimpering as they Lord! That's another one added to bloopers. Penny was still running until she came to a pretty flower.
No, but that's my natural head position.